Got a few thoughts on the eight Democratic senators that voted to end the shutdown. Um, and, I got to say, I agree with them. I think it's time to end the shutdown so things can get done. Most importantly, time to end the shutdown so that we can go back to governing the way that governing is supposed to happen, and not just like the president and the military sort of making all of the decisions, like in this quasi martial law. The shutdown, I believe, was successful. I think the most successful aspect that came out of this is the messaging. Messaging is super, super important. I got to give what's my guy's name, Alex Jones, a lot of credit. Alex Jones was on this for a really long time. He had this show that promoted conspiracy theories because he knew conspiracy theories was a big seller, and he knew folks were, you know, gonna eat that up. And he named this conspiratorial show Infowars. And that name is real telling because, you know, information, right? The war on information is important because whatever information cuts through the majority are the winners of the war. And so Alex Jones rightfully thought conspiracy theories are going to cut through. It's going to sell. My information is going to win this war. It's going to cut through all the things that are truth. It's going to cut through everything, and it's going to be the loudest voices in the room. So he was a little ahead of his time with that. I mean, he's an asshole, but shout out to Alex Jones. He was ahead of his time. Right now, I think most folks in this administration understand that messaging is important, which is why Elon Musk was such a powerful character. When he bought X, it was big. It wasn't a business move. He wasn't like trying to make money off of it. I remember when he first purchased it, so many folks started to, he started to lose a lot of advertising, started to lose a lot of money, and people were like, oh my God, that was a dumb move. Actually, it wasn't a dumb move because his job, his goal wasn't necessarily to make money off of it. His goal was to control the information. Now, Elon Musk is one of the most powerful individuals in this world. Why? Because he controlled X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, which was huge, as a lot of people got their information from there. And he was able to control what people saw via the algorithms. And so Elon Musk went into bed with this administration, and it's going to be hard to win the war on information if you got a gentleman that's holding pretty much the strings to the algorithm for one of the largest social media platforms in the world. Similarly, you get people on board like the guy from Facebook, can't remember his name, and now you control more information avenues, right? TikTok wasn't necessarily canceled the way folks wanted to cancel it, because if this administration could sort of get a handle on the algorithm of TikTok, that means you control even more messaging. And as far as the information war, shout out to Alex Jones, you win, right? And so that's the way that this messaging has been going across. The war of information is completely in this administration's power. Now, you folks like, oh man, Democrats' messaging is bad, or Democrats' messaging is not as good. It doesn't matter what that messaging is. If that messaging does not cover the algorithm in the way that Elon Musk would like it to, or the way that the guy from Facebook or TikTok, or all the ways that folks are getting their news, or online, or even Google, then it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it. It's just not going to get across. It is what it is. And so these folks are ahead of their time. But I believe that there's a new form of messaging that hits harder than social media. And I think that this is going to be the new wave of the future. And I think the reason why Democrats won in big in Tuesday's elections is that people were feeling the results of the decisions made by this administration. For the most part, they were feeling it. My mother is a wise woman. She used to say all the time, those who do not listen must feel. It's a very Jamaican saying, those who don't listen must feel, right? And so even though the messaging has been really loud on one side, the reason why it didn't culminate in a big win for Republicans across the board last week, Tuesday, was because something more important than messages coming across social media or messages coming across anywhere. People were feeling the results. They were feeling it. And that is stronger than any psychological messaging that could be passed through 100 million times over through some algorithm. So how does this, how do we take this back to Democrats and stopping the shutdown? I think most people now, first of all, believe that the shutdown is on the heads of Republicans, but also the fight is about health care. And most people understand that this fight is about healthcare subsidies. And so now that this messaging is, widespread, and now that people understand that this is the fight that's going on, you let it go. Because once folks start to lose those subsidies in December and in January and in February and in March or whatever the case is, they are going to feel it. And that messaging is more important than what you say, than what you do, and I would even argue even more important than the algorithm itself, because they're feeling it. So as long as Democrats understand that the majority of the population know that this fight was against healthcare subsidies versus the government being open, that's okay. Because when people start to feel the results of their healthcare premiums, it's going to mean a lot in 2026. There'll be nothing that the messaging machines will be able to do to fight back the feeling of people's health insurance skyrocketing. Just like the farmers, there's nothing that you can do, for the farmers after, their rising prices or their rising costs. They're feeling it, right? There's nothing that business owners are now, nothing resonating more with them than these tariffs. And people in these tariffs, they're feeling it. And so, end the shutdown. It's okay. People understand what the shutdown was about. And that's the best part. Because once people start to feel that health insurance mismatch, 2026 is going to be real hard for folks to come back from that. Those who don't listen must feel. Job is done. Get ready to feel.